Session 4. Momentum. Ooh, I tell you what, momentum's been a bruiser. And my little guy upstairs, he is not a happy camper. It's time for us to, start getting ready for our bath and night time. Anyway, okay, so we're going to go through this. Before we start, Russell, thank you for the share. Alex, Nick, Alan Lowe from the Behavior Trap, my man. Thank you for the meme and all that stuff. That's pretty cool. Appreciate you. And look for that book review / kind of like book breakdown of all the stuff that I have here. I will definitely take some time with the camera and go through all the different books I have and kind of talk about those things and show everything to you rather than just a reading list. I will definitely do that for you. And really everybody else. It feels amazing. Subscribers have doubled since we started doing this. So obviously someone's finding value in it, and obviously you guys are liking it. Obviously there's some engagement going on. So I mean, like, hit me up. Like, I love it. This is awesome. So let's talk about today a little bit. Today was a tough one. Did a lot of vacillating today. A lot of back and forth. A lot of that self-doubt creeping in. What's funny about that is that I haven't really articulated the physical feeling that you feel with that stuff happening. And it's like there's that powerlessness, man. It really does take a toll on you, not just emotionally, but physically. Like, I actually feel weaker at times as a result of it. And like, I gotta really snap myself back in and do my whole routine, which I did do. And it helped me, and it started putting me back where I needed to be, but it keeps making me thinking of this Hemingway quote from A Farewell to Arms, and I pulled it up here because I wanted to make sure that I got it right. So I'm going to read it real quick. The world breaks everyone, and afterward, many are strong at the broken places. But those that will not break, it kills. It kills the very good and the very gentle and the very brave impartially. If you are none of these, you can be sure that it will kill you too, but there will be no special hurry. Man, powerful Hemingway. What a miserable dude he was, right? Took a shotgun to the mouth. So I don't know if he's the best person to take advice from, but definitely in terms of speaking to the moment, I'm finding a poignancy to it. And what I see when I hear from that, and how I'm finding some value and some power in it, is be flexible. Accept what's happening to you, like, and in front of you and to the world. It's crazy out there, man. Like, the news is insane. The internet's on fire. Like, nothing makes sense. It's like we've moved into upside down land or the Twilight Zone. And with that comes a lot of confusion and just swirling emotions. And it leaves you feeling powerless at times. And the question is it going to break you? Or are you going to look at this as the group traumatic event that it is, which is what it is? We're going to a culturally traumatic event together and come out of it stronger and better for it. And I'm thinking and I'm hoping that as a result of this, we all come out of it stronger and better for it. And I think that we can. It's just a matter of maintaining perspective, maintaining a certain level of fluidity and flexibility in our responding and what we're doing and how we're accounting for ourselves on a daily basis. So with that being said, today I'm going to talk about two major principles. I'm going to talk about behavior momentum, and I'm going to talk about that in the context of Premack. I had an awesome conversation with Danielle. She's the third member of the trio of the TCE squad, I guess. She's the person who does all our show notes and stuff for the podcast, and she's also my classmate, my colleague. We're talking on the phone, and we're just having an awesome conversation, just dealing with all this craziness. And she's like, dude, I'm just pre-macking my life right now, and this has got to be good enough. And it's true. That's exactly what we should be doing. That's exactly what we have been doing. That's what I've been doing. I'm pre-macking my life, man. I'm leveraging one difficult thing or one low probability behavior with high probability behaviors and reinforcers. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm using the stuff that I don't want to do, and I'm using the stuff that I want to do as reinforcers and as leverage to do what I want to do. So I want to get a little bit into the theory of that a little bit, because behavioral momentum is one of the most commonly misconceived things in the field. And because most people think about it in terms of like low probability, high probability, and like if I just do enough trials of something that's easy, I'll get hard stuff, and that's absolutely incorrect. That's totally wrong. It's actually not that at all. It's actually about leveraging those high probability things to get low probability things. It's using behavior as a reinforcer for behavior. So that's what Premack really is, and that's really what we're talking about. And to me, that's really the key to self-management. There's a great article on what's the guy? Colleen talks about Premackian contingency. If you want to check that out, Colleen, 2014, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Great article on some of the theory. But yeah. Not to get into that. So where do we even begin when we're talking about this stuff? Well, for me, I like to go all the way back to an evolutionary process and work from there. One thing about us human beings, and really all organisms in general, is that we are, by design, going to engage in the least amount of effort to maximize our reinforcement. What does that mean? That means we are biologically predisposed to being absolutely lazy. Why? Because we're efficient in accessing and adapting to our environment, because we respond to the consequences. Our behavior is shaped by consequences, selected by consequences. And as a result of that process, it's very easy to kind of devolve and to fall into routine, rote realities that don't really produce the high level of satisfaction, engagement, and presence of mind that make your existence enriched, man, that makes walking through this world meaningful. So my challenge to this situation is going to be like, let's make things meaningful. And we're going to do that by doing some hard stuff, along with all the other things that we're doing that fall outside of the norm, which are our slovenly lockdown existence. So what does this mean? Well, I think it requires a certain reframing of perspective, first of all. And the first thing is that, as a behavior analyst, we talk a lot as behavior analysts about behavior change. And that's true, we do change behavior. But in the context of self-management, the idea of changing one's own behavior, like you actually changing your own behavior, it's Herculean for some people. If you actually have ever done anything difficult in your life, like say a massive weight loss or come back from a surgery or a massive setback or a divorce or like a loss of home or a tragedy of like a lost loved one, like ever come back from something like that, you understand the Herculean task that is. It's massive. It's not just like building some momentum, doing some easy stuff to get to the hard stuff, right? It's nothing like that. That's BS, right? That's not a real representation of what that looks like. So what I'm going to talk about, I'm not talking about transforming or changing your behavior. Don't transform. Stay who you are. What I'm going to tell you is leverage your behavior. Look at it as a leverage point. Find leverage points. Because leverage means that you're okay who you are. And I'm telling you, you're okay who you are. Just be you. You don't have to change. Okay? What you just need to do is to find opportunities for action. Well, the only way that you find opportunities for action is to find those leverage points. So I'm going to start with the most obvious ways that you can do that. And then you can take it from there for yourself and try to build some other different ways that work for you. But for me, it's really about structuring my day and my time in such a way where I do all the things I don't want to do to get to all the stuff that I want to do. And it's really that simple. I use being able to engage in surfing the internet, screwing around on my phone, watching some Netflix with my wife, all that stuff. In order to get my workout in each day, in order to do these videos, because it takes effort to sit down and script this out a little bit, put an outline down, think about it, record it, stay focused, and do all my schoolwork on top of all that stuff while I'm dealing with the swirling emotions of not feeling super productive, or at least a contributing member of society right now. So I am, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean? So that's what I would say. So the question is, how do I do that? Or what's the challenge? Well, the challenge is to move. It's to act. It's to engage. It's to go towards your environment, act on your environment in such a way as it is not acting on you. Like, take some control. And there's going to be those people who are going to say, oh, you're theorizing, whatever. But we can control these things. You can get to the point where even if it's illusory, it's real. And how do you get that control over your environment? You choose to act and find those leverage points. So what are some leverage points that you could find? Or like, what should you do? What's your challenge? One thing. A lot of you probably just been sitting around the house doing a whole lot of nothing, but thinking and just kind of going down some deep, dark slides and holes. Or even worse, engaging in mindless tasks and activities so you don't have to confront reality, so you don't have to think about how tough it is, so you don't have to feel the feelings that go with all the social isolation we're all experiencing together. We're going through this massive cultural traumatic event. Like, that is serious, that is real. And it's hard to confront, especially if you've already had a lot of that kind of thing in your lifespan. And it's hard to, like, the idea of going through something like this is almost emotionally overwhelming. It's crippling. So I understand that. So what I'm going to tell you is how you're going to build momentum. I'm not going to tell you to go build a house. I'm not going to tell you to like decide to do a 90-day challenge where you're going to lose 1 million pounds. No, I'm going to tell you to do one hard thing a day. And when I say hard or difficult, I'm talking about effort. I'm not talking about advanced mathematics, quantum mechanics, or learning a new trade. Okay, so relax there. I'm talking about what's the things that you've been needing to do each day that you've been putting off. Are your dishes piling up? Are your garbage piling up? Do you need to make your bed? Is there laundry that needs to be done? Have you showered? I mean, like, seriously, the little things matter. Those are the little things that build momentum. Those are the little things that get you towards the goals that you need to be going towards, that you're experiencing clean, positive mental acuity towards your life and towards your existence, so that you're not just devolving into a void of nothing. This is the insidious thing about what we're experiencing right now, is that it's total social extinction, man. It's like, it's a slow, steady counter reality. It's something that poisons the soul. So don't let it infect you in that way, and don't let it take away the little bit of control that you can exert on your life. And that's doing one or two little things that require lots of effort from you right now. And you know what? That's where some self-compassion is going to come into the game. Like, if it was effortful and it took you, like you were walking through mud to get it done, but now as a result of it, you feel accomplished and you're doing that thing that you wanted to do that gives you the enrichment, do it. Like, what am I thinking? I'm thinking, like, do the one difficult thing that you did before you sat down and Netflix and chill. Do the one difficult thing you need to do before you spark up the PlayStation or the Xbox. Do the one difficult thing you're going to do before you're going to get that delectable little treat out of the cabinet. That nice little Lindor chocolate. Not that I'm talking from experience here. But do that one difficult thing you're going to do with your partner, before you hang out with your partner. Maybe get a little bit of adult time, grown-up time. You know what I mean? I have a feeling we're going to have a baby boom coming here, just to be clear. Or do it by yourself. Whatever floats your boat, do you. Leverage. Find leverage points. Find leverage points and make behavior contingent on other behavior. You want to do the thing you want to do? Awesome. In order to do that, this is what you have to do. And do one thing. Don't overburden yourself. Don't get too ahead of yourself. Do one thing at a time. Do one thing and reward yourself. Give yourself a break. Experience some self-compassion. And then slowly over time, add one or two more things throughout your day, throughout the week. And another easy way to go about that is to write down a list of the things that you have to get accomplished, the things that you need to get done. Once you've done that, then you can start building in other stuff, and maybe you can doing some other things. We talked to one, shout out Sammy, Sam F, you always wanted to do, if you have something you want to try, maybe you wanted to do an Etsy store or something like that. That's no big deal. You can do that. You know what I mean? Maybe the first step is just actually going on Etsy and just registering for an account. That's what you should do today. And then tomorrow, look at what it takes to put a product on. And then the day after that, make a product. And the day after that, post the product. And the day after that, go on your social media. One thing a day. A rolling stone gathers no moss does not mean that it goes from the top to the bottom. Behavior occurs in time. We already talked about this. So time matters. It's just how we use it. And in order for us to efficiently or effectively use it in some capacity, we have to Premack it, man. Take Danielle's good advice. Premack it. Anyway, that's kind of my spiel for the day. I forgot, I was reminded, this is the Controversial Exchange, and, Skinner's our boy, so I'm going to tell you this, is I want you to be marvelous. And I'll see you next time.